That first day of a new school year, it's a huge moment for any parent, right? But if you're parenting a child with special needs, that feeling can be, well, a lot more complicated. So let's get into it and break down how to handle that. And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? You're so proud and so hopeful, but at the exact same time, there's this knot of stress in your stomach. You're wondering, is the school really ready for my child? Will they be okay? Will they be understood? It's that very real tension that we're going to unpack today. So we're going to look at this in 3 main stages based on what the source material lays out. First, we'll talk about the hands-on, practical stuff for getting emotionally ready for day 1. Then we'll get into the safety net you need during the school year itself. And finally, and this is so important, we'll zoom out and look at the long-term legal foundation that gives you genuine peace of mind. All right, first things first, let's talk about tackling that first day anxiety. The core idea here is all about taking the mystery out of it. Because when a child, especially a child with special needs, knows what's coming, their confidence just shoots through the roof. And what I love about these tips is how they're all designed to do one thing: make the strange feel familiar. Notice it says a quiet tour. That's huge, right? It helps avoid any sensory overload before school even begins. And hey, if you can't get into the building, no problem. Using photos or videos of the classroom, the teacher, or the playground, all of that helps build a mental map. Every little step replaces a bit of fear with a feeling of, okay, I've seen this, I know this. And here's a really cool practical tip for building routine. Create a checklist together. This isn't just you telling them what to do, it's a team effort. Laminate it, stick some Velcro on there. You turn a boring morning routine into a fun, interactive game. It gives your child a sense of control over their day, which is just priceless. Of course, it's not all about logistics. There's the whole emotional piece. The source suggests things like setting up some really low-pressure playdates to warm up those social skills. And it also talks about the power of celebrating the small stuff. I mean, if your child packs their own backpack for the first time, that is a huge deal. That deserves a high five, a happy dance, whatever. That's the stuff that builds the confidence they'll walk into school with. And this is another game changer: empowerment. Teaching your child a few simple but really powerful phrases they can use. When you practice saying, "I need a break," or "Can I have help?" at home in a safe space, it makes it so much more likely they'll actually use those words when they're at school and feeling overwhelmed. You're literally giving them the tools to ask for what they need. Okay, so you've done the prep work. Your child is feeling more confident about their new environment. The next layer we need to talk about is the official support system, the in-school protections that act as a safety net for the entire year. And the foundation of that safety net really are these 2 critical documents: the IEP and the 504 plan. To put it simply, these aren't just suggestions. They are legally binding contracts. They spell out exactly what the school must provide for your child, from accommodations to specific support and goals. It's your child's rights, all written down. But, and the source makes this point loud and clear, these are not set it and forget it documents. You can't just file them away. They have to be living, breathing plans. You've got to review them every year. Ask yourself, are these goals still the right ones? And just as crucial is building a real, collaborative relationship with the teachers and staff. When they see you as a partner, not an adversary, everything works better. And all this talk about school plans naturally leads to a much bigger question that the source brings up. What about after this school year? Or the one after that? True peace of mind, it argues, comes when we shift our thinking from just school plans to life plans. This is where we look at the whole picture. So here it is, the big question. Is an IEP or a 504 plan enough? I mean, they're essential for school, no doubt. But what about everything that happens outside of those school walls? What happens if, one day, you aren't there to advocate? Is that plan going to be enough to ensure your child is secure for their entire life? The source says, probably not. And that forces us to ask some really tough, but absolutely critical questions. Like, have you legally named guardians? And what about a special needs trust? This is a huge one. Without it, an inheritance could actually kick your child off of essential government benefits like Medicaid or SSI. It's about getting into the nitty-gritty. Who's in charge? How is the money protected? And are your hopes and wishes for your child actually written down somewhere legally? So, if the old way isn't enough, what's the answer? Well, the source talks about a totally different way of thinking about planning. It's an approach that isn't just about creating documents, but is built from the ground up for the changing, evolving reality of your family's life. And you can really see the difference here. Traditional estate planning, you know the drill. You meet a lawyer, you get a binder full of documents, and see you later. The problem? Life happens. Laws change. Your family's needs change. And suddenly that binder is just an expensive, outdated paperweight. The alternative approach is relationship-based. It's designed to adapt and to be there with ongoing guidance, so the plan actually works when you need it most. This approach is called life and legacy planning, and the two most important words there are relationship-focused and ongoing. It's not a one-time transaction. It's about building a long-term partnership with a trusted advisor who really gets your family, who stays with you, and who makes sure your plan keeps up with your life. So what does that actually mean? Well, it means your plan gets reviewed and updated regularly. It means your future guardians get clear instructions and guidance, not just a legal document they can't understand. It includes things like a full inventory of your assets, so nothing gets lost, and clear instructions for funding that critical special needs trust. The whole point is to prevent problems down the road and keep your family out of a messy court battle during what would already be an incredibly tough time. Now, the source also points to this one very important number, 18. The second your child turns 18, in the eyes of the law, they are a legal adult. That means overnight you could lose the legal authority to make medical or financial decisions for them. That's a shock to a lot of parents. And it's why planning ahead for guardianship or other supports before they hit that birthday is absolutely critical. At the end of the day, all those little things you do to prepare for the school year, the checklists, the tours, the meetings, they are so, so important. But this is what they stand on. A solid, comprehensive, long-term legal plan is the foundation. It's what gives all that daily effort a permanent sense of security, allowing your child to have a confident start not just to a school year, but to their entire life. And that really leaves us with this final thought to chew on. True security, the kind that lets you breathe a little easier, isn't just about the here and now, and it isn't just about the future. It's found in the balance. It's in the way you manage the daily needs while building a foundation that will support your child forever. So the real question is, how do those two pieces work together in your life to create that genuine peace of mind?